Hello guys, what's up? I'm your friend Manak from Civil Center and I welcome back to our channel. So today we're going to discuss about AAC blocks. So let's get started. So AAC blocks are also known as autoclaved aerated concrete blocks. So autoclaved means they are burned in furnace and aerated means they have a lot of voids. So it's basically a product made out of foam concrete. Now, these material is being increasingly used in building constructions. So, today we'll give an unbiased analysis of the advantages and disadvantages of AAC blocks and how to use them properly. So, let's get started. So, for getting started, as per Indian standards, if you want to check out the standard dimensions of AAC blocks, you can refer to IS 2185 Part 3, Clause 3.2. There you will find the sizes of the AAC blocks. The AAC blocks basically come in lengths of 400 mm, 500 mm or 600 mm, and the heights are exactly the half the length, that is the 200 mm, 250 mm and 300 mm. The width can be varied from 100 mm, 150 mm or 200 to 250 mm. So these are the standard sizes. In market you may also find different sizes of AAC blocks. Now let us consider the advantages of AAC blocks over fly ash bricks or red clay bricks. So basically the AAC blocks are porous in nature and also they require less quantity of mortar because the surfaces are smooth and leveled, so definitely they require less quantity of mortar for the joints. And the curing required is also less. Only some sprinkles of water are enough in comparison to the red bricks or the fly ash bricks, and the joints are also less, and it also can be handled pretty comfortably by the workers. Now it can also be cut easily with the help of a drill or ordinary saw. So these were the advantages, and it is also a lightweight material. So having said that, it puts less amount of load on the structure. As you know, most of the structures in today are frame structures. So in frame structures, the main load is beared by beams and columns. So the beams, columns, all the RCC members take the load. That is, the transfer of the load comes from the slab to the roof beam, from the roof beam to the columns, from the columns to the footings, and from the footings to the soil. So this is the phenomenon of load transfer. So there is no role of masonry works like red bricks or AAC blocks in the load transfer. So in the case where we don't require our masonry material to bear any loads, so the lightweight really helps because it actually reduces the size of the members. As it puts less load, so the size of the beams and columns can get reduced if AAC blocks are used. So it is an advantage of using AAC blocks that it is lightweight, easy to handle, requires less labor, and also the sizes of the structural members may get reduced on the use of this. Now, having said that, there are many complaints of customers who are using AAC blocks that it develops some kind of cracks. So if proper procedure is not followed during the use of these AAC blocks, it may result in some problems. Because first of all, it is a non-load bearing material. 2. That is, it cannot be used for bearing loads. Its bearing capacity is very low. If you see in IS 2185, for an average we can take the bearing capacity as 4 Newton per mm square, which is very low. So it is not used for load bearing constructions, and it is also a little brittle in nature. And in some cases there are different qualities of these AAC blocks available in the market. So before procurement of the AAC blocks, we should ask our vendors for providing our MTC. Now what is MTC? MTC is basically manufacturing test certificate. We need to get that certificate whether they have made that AAC blocks properly. Now, what is the proper procedure? We'll discuss very briefly. First of all, after making the AAC blocks, it should be subjected to a curing period of minimum 28 days. And after that, it should also be allowed to dry for 15 days. Because this is done so that there is no dry shrinkage. To avoid expansion and contraction, this should be done. So if we get the manufacturing test certificate, we can get the quality assurance of our AAC blocks. So if you use good quality AAC blocks, there will be no expansion and contraction and there will be no cracks. And another thing related to the AAC blocks is how it is applied in our building. Now, the general floor to floor height of a building is actually 3 meters or 3.2 meters. Let us take 3 meters. So we should provide stub columns or runners to support these AAC blocks. As you can see here, they haven't provided any such beams or columns. Another solution to avoid cracks in the AAC blocks is that suppose the height from here to here is 3 meter and this length is, that is the depth of the beam minus the slab is 0.2. So suppose from here to here we have 2.8 meter and the floor to floor height being 3 meter. So we have 2.8 meter where the casting of the masonry works using AAC blocks are to be done. Now, assuming that there is no running lintel provided, we have space of 2.8 meter. Now in this 2.8 meters, we can provide RCC runners at 1.2 meters height. So at 1.2 meters height, we can provide a RCC runner, that is a narrow width, suppose say 100 mm width RCC beam here, so that the load from the above portion of the AAC blocks, that is the self weight, doesn't come to the bottom part because they are very brittle in nature and have low bearing capacity, so it may result in cracks. So for the safety purpose, we can provide such runner beams of RCC, and also we can also provide columns, or it is also called stab columns, in between the spans which are more than 6 meters. So if we have any span, this span is less than 6 meter. So if we have any span which is more than 6 meter, we can provide a small or narrow column in between, which is also known as stub column, so that we can divide the area into two parts. So if we provide stub columns at intervals more than 6 meters, and also if we provide one number of RCC runner beams in between the total height where the casting of the AAC blocks are to be done, then we can avoid such cracks. So friends, in this video we had discussed some of the advantages and disadvantages of AAC blocks, and also we had discussed how to avoid cracks in these AAC blocks. So friends, as we had already told you earlier, we don't want our channel to be a one-way source. So please feel free to comment what do you know about the various advantages and disadvantages of AAC blocks. And if you are a site engineer or if you are working in any construction company, how was your experience of using AAC blocks? Is it better than red bricks or not? Please let us know in our comment section. And stay tuned to our channel. Bye bye.